Hello, welcome to the podcast. I'm Cher Kretz. I'm the host of the podcast Parenting 2.0, The Focused Mindset. And thank you for listening. If you're a new listener, welcome. We're so glad to have you. Don't forget to hit subscribe or download so you don't miss any of the family-oriented content that we have here. And this week, I'm doing something different. We will get back to our other format, but we're doing 7 days of about 7-minute podcasts. Because I have a lot of little things that are on my mind, and I'm just going to share them with you this week. The other day, I was watching a video about a dog that did not want to jump out of a van. Why? Because the people that were in this van had drove out onto a frozen lake, it looked like. You really can't tell, but it was frozen solid, and they were going to go off exploring. And this dog intuitively knew that what they were standing on was water. See, the dog thought, no, if I jump out of this van, I'm going to drown. And you could just tell the dog wanted nothing to do with it. And if you want to see, I actually got this on a screen recording and put it on my Instagram because it just absolutely cracked me up watching the way that this dog was so apprehensive and so actually convinced that there was no possible way that he could jump out onto that frozen ice. My Instagram is share.thefocusedmindset. And you might want to check that out so you can really see the full visual. Now, the owner is already standing out on the frozen terrain. That does not convince the dog. The dog creeps up to the edge of the truck and looks down and then backs right up, just keeps backing right up. And the owner tried to kind of pull the dog closer. Nothing to do with it. The dog was like, Well, finally, the owner is kind of laughing and not sure what to do. And she gets the dog all the way out to as far as the leash can like basically stand. And then the dog backs up and literally drags the owner because they're on ice. She slides back to where the van is. Well, at that point, the owner has a choice, right? Like, what are we going to do? We want this dog to come out with us. It can't stay in the van. So she ends up taking a blanket out of her car and she lays it on the ground. And all of a sudden, this dog looks down and feels comfortable, feels just fine and dandy, like, hey, I'm good. And goes ahead and jumps down onto that frozen ice. And the ground catches the dog just fine. And then off they go on the lake. And this just moved me on so many different ways. It just reminded me about how apprehensive we can be about doing new things, how our mind can believe with everything in us that something is dangerous or worrisome when there's absolutely no truth to it whatsoever. I mean, in reality, that entire truck was parked on the lake, and it's much heavier than a person or a dog. So it was actually more dangerous for that dog to be in what that dog considered to be a safe truck on solid ground than it was for him to hop out onto the frozen ice. Because if anything was going to go into the ice, if it was weak, it would be that truck. See, but there's absolutely no perspective from the side of the dog. It didn't have any perspective at all. All the dog could see is the inside of the van, the ground, and out there, it looked like a bunch of water was going to drown him if he walked out. That is amazing. Amazing to think about if we think about it in our own life. What things are we stopping ourselves from doing because of our own perspective? Simply because we don't see the bigger picture. Are we stopping ourselves from blessings and wonderful things that could be happening in our lives because we're not willing to take that first step? We're not willing to move forward. We're right on the edge and we're about ready to do something new and then back right up. No. Just like that dog. Well, that just, as I watched that, showed me that there is a bigger picture. There's a bigger picture that I can't see. So for me, when I need to walk up into something new and I feel the familiar feeling like I want to back up. No, I need to lean into some of those things that I'm scared of because if they're right to do, then I need to believe that on the other side, there's going to be something amazing. And what about our kids when they have their inhibitions and their worries and their fears and they don't want to walk forward at all? Well, think about the owner. The owner of that dog had lots of different ways that she could have handled that situation. She could have gotten angry, stomped away, or just said, "Fine, the dog's staying in the car," or just forced the dog with everything in her to come out. She could have, but you know what? She chose to be helpful with a calm spirit and actually kind of comical, like kind of like in a fun way, not a mean way, but just going, "Oh my goodness," really lighthearted. Can we be more like that when we're helping our kids into something new? Because eventually she put a blanket down to help the dog feel safe. It wasn't as if she was like, "You know what? You're going to jump down here and you're going to see that it's fine no matter what." She went ahead and did some accommodations. She put the blanket down so the dog could feel safe. We can be the person that has the bigger perspective and puts the blanket down for our kids and helps them to lead them to where they need to go so they can feel the joy that they need to feel in their life of what it feels like to do something new. It feels great when it's a good thing. So let's not only step into our scary situations with confidence, but also help our children do the same by being a helper that doesn't make them feel bad for what they can't do, but leads them in the direction with peace. We can do that. And we can do that with I don't know, just with a higher level of love and caring. So let's go out and do that this week, tomorrow, well, in the next hour, like right now. Just find someone that you can encourage or go out and do something new. And if you want to learn more, hop over to my website, thefocusedmindset.com. Join our community. You'll love the free information that I put out. And I can't wait for you to be able to be a part of that and check out Conversations That Empower in my products page. So get out there and have confidence in what you do. And until next time, keep in touch and take care.